As a pilot, I had always admired Captain Graham Sheppard for sacrificing his career with British Airways in order to speak out on UFOs. In the late 1990s, I viewed him as a modern Billy Mitchell who battled with the U.S. Army and Navy to stress the future of air power. Although he was separated from British Airways, he was often called upon to give his expert opinion and does so in the following report on the 6th January 1995 Manchester Ringway UFO. Hopefully some channel subscribers will recognize the continuing UAP references to Roger Willie. Those who don't have some homework to do.
Does Britain's Civil Aviation Authority, which recently investigated a near miss between a silent Vulcan and a British Airways 737 on approach to Manchester Airport. Commercial pilot Graham Sheppard, whose own airborne encounter has fueled a 20-year interest in UFOs, has studied the Manchester near miss.
Quite suddenly, what the crew described as a triangular, very brightly lit craft flew past them very, very close on their right-hand side. And the reports mentioned that the co-pilot instinctively ducked because it was so close. Now, they were clearly shaken up by this. They asked radar if they had any traffic, and radar didn't see anything.
The Civil Aviation Authority pursued their investigation of the case for more than a year and released their report in February of 1996. Their conclusion, however, was no conclusion at all. Only that the UFO was unknown. Case closed. When Graham Sheppard attempted to follow up with the British Airways crew, he hit a brick wall.
I've written to the captain and he hasn't replied, and I have heard on the grapevine that he's not going to discuss it any further with anybody else. He's fed up with the whole thing, and that if the same thing ever happened to him again, he wouldn't report it. So that this comes back to the culture of silence, the consensus of the line of least resistance is to say nothing about these things.
While serving as an airline pilot, Captain Graham Sheppard had 2 UFO sightings of his own. These are detailed in a separate video on this channel to include his dismissal from British Airways for breaking ranks to speak publicly on his experience. Look for a link in this video's text description.